Can 100% disabled veterans work while they're receiving VA benefits? The answer is yes. This video is sponsored by Hill and Potton and Combat Craig's Boot Camp, my boot camp. Check out links for both of those in the description. So we're going to be talking about scheduler ratings today. 100% scheduler or 100% permanent and total scheduler. TDIU by definition is for veterans that cannot work, so this doesn't apply to you if you're on TDIU. 100% disabled veterans can work with no income restrictions at all. The VA isn't running Social Security reports on you. It's just not part of the deal. That's for TDIU, but we're not talking about TDIU. You figured out how to speak the VA's language because you're in the Hundo Club, right? You have to say certain things in certain ways and say them in as few words possible. It may have taken you 30 years to learn that, like it did for me, but you figured out how to speak their language. You're going to have this 100% rating for the rest of your life, so it doesn't all just go out the window. You have to do maintenance on this stuff. You don't need to tell the VA any more than they need to know. So go in a couple times a year and make sure that you're up to date on your disabilities and your symptoms. But you don't need to talk about work. I've been 100% permanent and total for just over 2 years. The subject of work has not come up once. And the subject of, are you remarried or seeing someone? That hasn't come up either. So you don't need to offer this information if they don't need to know about it. They don't need to know about your working situation. If you weren't working when you got your rating, they don't need to know if you're working now. Most likely, the reason you got the rating in the first place was because you have work problems. So, great, I got a full-time job. They don't need to know that. They don't need to know about how bitchin' it is, how much money you're making. It's none of their business. The VA doctors are not your parents. Now, that's a little bit different. I'm not going to say I didn't lie to my parents. Did you smoke weed? No. You know what I mean? They're not going to put you on the spot like that and ask you questions. And, don't lie about your disabilities and your symptoms, but don't offer up stuff that isn't going to help your claim either. Let me give you an example of a situation that might get dicey and it's avoidable if you're not talking about working. So let's say you have a 70% rating for depression, a 50% rating for migraines, a 60% rating for chronic fatigue syndrome, and 10% for tinnitus. You're in the Hundo Club. So all of those disabilities have some sort of work restriction built into them. Your 70% rating for depression, deficiencies in most areas of your work and social life. You got the rating, they don't need to know about your work and social life anymore. Your migraines, 50% for migraines. Severe economic inadaptability, prostrating events, you finally figure out how to say the right words about all that stuff. 60% for chronic fatigue syndrome means that you can't do anything for at least 6 weeks out of the year. Tinnitus, it doesn't matter. That doesn't have any work restrictions on it. So be careful about what you're saying to your Veterans Health Administration doctors. First of all, they're not your mama or your daddy. They want to run you through there as quickly as possible. Yep, saw my patient veteran. He said he was alive. Don't go in there and tell him how awesome you're doing now. That's stupid. Veteran said he was alive, updated his meds, did a referral to go talk to mental health, still has the migraines, changed the migraine meds, chronic fatigue syndrome's the same, and his ears are ringing all the time. That's all they want to do. They want to run you in and out in 15 minutes. If you don't want to talk to VA doctors, go to community care or private doctor, something like that. The subject of work hasn't come up for me, and it's not going to come up for you unless you offer it up. It's not useful information, and the reason that I'm kind of sticking on this part of it is if it starts getting into your records and the majority of your claims are based on economic inadaptability, occupational impairment, and you weren't working when you got the rating, that could come back and haunt you in a records review somewhere down the road. So don't put it in there. I'm going to leave you with this parting thought. because I want you to burn this concept into your head. You cheated on your wife a month ago. You feel like shit about it. It happened though. Are you going and telling the VA doctors that you cheated on your wife? Hell no. You don't want that shit showing up in any records anywhere. You got to deal with it, but you know what I mean? You don't need to tell them every little thing that you're doing. So I'll see you in the next video.